Hello, friends. Today's detail is a 2009 Hyundai Santa Fe. This one is pretty dirty. This is, yeah, on the surfaces, it's definitely dirty. And the seats. The carpets were not that bad. There was some embedded dirt, but I was able to work that out. My biggest issue with this detail is I had to get it cleaned up in 4 hours. That is one of the curses of detailing in used car business. I know a lot of people call that car washes and they do a bad job and all of that. I used to think the same thing, but they really don't do a bad job. They're just on a time limit, so they have to plan and put everything together in a short amount of time. The seller of this car wants everything done in 4 hours or less. That's really his limit. If we have to go above that, we need to have permission, and he wants to know why, understandably. So I'm going to get this cleaned up in 4 hours. Do you think it can be done? Okay, so a 4-hour time limit. That means I have to have a pretty good plan of attack. And I knew I had to have the vacuum out. And I knew I was going to have to get the steamer out because of those hard surfaces. So it's going to have to be those two products, those two pieces of equipment that are going to have to make this look good at the end of my time. So this inside driver area, while I was waiting for the steamer to heat up, I decided to go ahead and wipe this down, hoping that it would clean up without the steamer, and then I could just move on and make the process a lot quicker. Sometimes it can take 10 to 15 minutes for the steamer to heat up. So I was fortunate. I was able to get a lot of it, but then I had to come back to that center console, especially with the steamer, and get some of that off. But for the most part, this particular area cleaned up with a good wipe down, so that saved me quite a bit of time. So as you see, I started doing this door without the steamer. I realized what time it was and I didn't have time to get the steamer out and keep going with it. So I went ahead and turned it off and went on my way. But I decided to try and wipe this down and see how well I could get this door. I used an awful lot of APC, but it actually turned out pretty good. It was just some surface dirt. It wasn't stuck really bad. It came off pretty well and cleaned up pretty well. But I have to come back the next day, and if it still needs a steamer, I'm going to get to it with the steamer. So this begins day 2. Remember, I only have 2 hours remaining on the clock to get this car done. So I went ahead and chose a couple of plans of attack the night before for my next 2 hours. Obviously, I'm going to come in and do a wipe down because of the success that I had in the driver's area and the driver door, that I was able to go ahead and get a lot of it cleaned off with a really good wipe down. So I went that route, but the steamer is being hooked up and heating because it's actually going to play a role in this back seat. That is where my biggest challenge is. That's also going to give me an opportunity to test 2 different products on these seats. The seats in the back seat are not very good, and the driver's seat is not in good shape either. So I knew that I wanted to test the products, and I figured this would be the best place to do that. So in the front seat, the front 2 seats, I used my OxyClean mix. And in the back seats, I used something that I've seen new detail or other detailers use. It's a new method, and they're using Turtle Wax Max Power Car Wash, diluted 1 ounce in your spray bottle and the rest water. Okay, so you see how filthy these seats are. This is the back seat. I'm using the Turtle Wax Max Power Car Wash Soap, diluted 1 ounce in my 32 ounce spray bottle, and the rest is water. And I'm using the steamer on here, and then after I mop it up and get through my process, then I'm going to use the vacuum to pull out as much of the broken up and loosened up dirt that I can get out. And we'll see how it works. And I'll show you the front seats after a bit. I didn't record that process, but there's a reason for that. So as it appears, it did a pretty good job, but this is just a side view. It's the top view that makes all the difference in the world. Plus, I still have to vacuum. Now here I'm going to get started on this passenger side of the back seat, which is actually the worst of the entire seat itself. And so we'll see how well it did here. Okay, so a good vacuum to get any of the loose, broken up dirt out of there after doing that, and here it is. Not too bad, but not great. Now here's the front seat. Now, the front seats actually turned out pretty well. I was actually much more pleased with my OxiClean concoction. In the before and after pictures, you will see the difference that it made in that front driver's seat. That was the worst one. So you'll be able to see that in the before and after pictures, but I think I'm going to stick to my OxiClean concoction. However, the car wash soap being used actually makes for a really good detail mix. So I might try and use that for like some good detailer spray. But as far as shampooing the seats and stuff, I wasn't that thrilled with it. So there it is, 4 hours, and I got it cleaned up. I was not very pleased with the back seat. I wish it could have gone back and rectify that situation, but it is what it is, and it is at least clean and ready for the line. I know it's really easy for people to bash on detailers that clean up used cars for the dealerships, but all I can ask is understand our constraints and maybe cut us a little slack. We are trying with what limitations we have. So thanks again to everybody for hanging out on my channel, and hopefully next week will have an even better detail, and this one will be just a sad memory. If everybody will take a second to like and comment and subscribe, I would love to have you. And until the next video, we'll see you later. Peace.